all right. Namaskar. The topic that has been brought forward tonight is feminine mysticism and the relation of this feminine mysticism to the time to this time in history and what is going on and will go on in the planet Earth. So I would say this is a very relevant topic because in the development of this present time, the relationship between those traits commonly associated with male dominance and those traits commonly associated with female dominance have a play and a role in forming both the difficulties of this time and the solutions. It was said in this introduction that in the time of Matriarchy, many thousands of years ago, the women dominated the human society, and the men in those societies played a secondary role. That was because at that time human beings were very few. Living in tribes and small communities, the one who could produce the most healthy children, the woman with the greatest number of healthy children, became quite revered. And in those days, there was no system of marriage, no tracking of patronage. So those children did not identify with any man, but rather only with their mothers. And those women who had the most fine and strong children were the greatest contributors to the society and were able to give the most valued gift to the society. That is, more healthy, strong, young, vital people in the clan, in the tribe, in the small community. And so, in this way, the role of women became very prominent. And that woman who was capable of some visionary experience as well as this vitality of the reproductive role became the mothers of these clans and tribes, to lead them to have vision where they should hunt, what the weathers and dangers. And so they became very prominent, these women, in matriarchal society. And as that matriarchal society evolved, they came to be the leaders of city-states. And those city-states developed temples in worship of goddesses who evolved from simple worshipping of these women ancestors. So the child would think, my mother is a great woman and her mother is a greater woman and her mother still, but only we know legends of them, they are gone from this world. So a type of ancestor worship initiated originally to finally become a worship of different goddesses. And as the societies grew, and these temples of goddesses grew and developed in the city-states. And with that goddess worship also remained the ancestor worship. And through the psychic abilities, through the far seeing of the priestesses, health and well-being came not only to the small clans and tribes, but even in the city-states. So matriarchy had a very strong hold for a very long period of time in human history. But that human history is primarily dim in the memories of current human beings. Then came a period when the populations grew and began to come close to each other and in conflict for game. And the hunters became warriors. And the safety, protection, territory, and capacity to defend came of prominence. At about the same time, marriage came into existence in human society. So that there is an acknowledgement of, there was a system, a type of marriage, but not an acknowledgement of patronage. The acknowledgement of patronage also came. So these two factors began to make a shift in human society. And naturally, not all societies shifted at the same time. There were different factors in different areas. Some had warlike societies invading, bringing these values with them, along with the warring tendencies, which naturally made defense a primary source of authority. So the warrior became more in a place of authority, and the goddesses and their temples and their visions began to recede in power. Slowly, slowly, and I will say in the last days of matriarchy, it was very oppressive to men and also to many women who felt love for certain men. Their relationships were frowned upon, and there was oppression. So any system, as it begins to calcify and become overly structured, can become oppressive. It is not true that men are oppressive and women cannot be oppressive. In the last days of matriarchy, oppression came and some crimes against humanity. But then came a turn of events as the populations grew and collided with each other. And the warriors became important. The hunters became warriors. And the dominance of those who could defend and protect and establish territory became important. And slowly, slowly, along with the claiming of patronage, the values changed. And the societies at different stages, but during a period of time, shifted globally from matriarchal dominance to patriarchal dominance. And in that time has been for a long time now,